Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Glopen. I'm your host Boyang. Now I am in front of one of the many regular shopping malls in Shanghai, Skymall. And that's going to be our topic today, Chinese shopping malls in megacities. You know, you might wonder what is so fascinating about shopping malls in China. Aren't they quite the same as the rest of the world? You know, you buy food, clothes, shoes, electronics, and so on. Well, when I first moved back to Shanghai, I realized that I could easily spend a whole day in a Chinese shopping mall during the weekends. Compared to in Germany, shopping malls aren't even open during the Sundays. And I would say maximum I could spend 3 to 4 hours within a German shopping mall and would focus on buying physical products. So, what can you actually do in a Chinese shopping mall? Well, you can start your morning by playing badminton in the club right outside of the mall, and then you can shop amongst hundreds of brands ranging from clothes to electric vehicles. During lunchtime, you can choose from dozens of restaurants that cost between €3 to €100 per person. After that, you can relax in one of the cafes with a cup of coffee or piece of cake, or maybe even both. Before going back home, you can also watch a movie within the cinema in the shopping mall, or you can also do your grocery shopping in the supermarket for the whole week. Maybe you have kids? Not a problem at all. You can also leave them at one of the playgrounds inside or at one of the specialized institutions while they can learn English, piano, or dancing. And while you are doing all of this, you can also get your car washed and your pets taken care of in the pet store located on the B2 floor in the shopping mall. Sounds great? Follow me and I will show you a few more interesting things. So we are in the shopping mall now, and this is the ground floor. Let's have a look at first what kind of shops there are on this guide. First are the traditional stores in this mall, just like in many other countries. Parkson, a Malaysian department store, Guomei, a Chinese electrical appliance chain, Carrefour, the French supermarket, and B&Q, the UK home improvement retailer. And then this long list of food and beverages options, ranging from all sorts of cafe to bubble tea shops, from local Chinese cuisine of different regions to international cuisine. It just shows how important food is for Chinese. The fashion brand section is more like the rest of the world, including some well-known international brands like Tommy Hilfiger, Gap, H&M, and Nike, as well as some local brands. What is truly interesting about this mall is the number of shops in the kids, leisure, entertainment, and education section that are all targeting kids, who are the focus point for most Chinese families. The jewelry, accessories section consists of mostly local brands and a few shops for eyeglasses, since nowadays most products can be bought cheaper online in China. Shopping malls have a stronger focus on services such as beauty, fitness, personal care, and selling electric vehicles, since most people would still want to see their car before purchasing it online. Now we are on the ground floor. In the middle of the hall, you can see here the brand new Q4 Audi e-tron that is on display here in the middle of the hall. Very nice car. And then we have the Volvo brand here. The pure electric models are displayed here. Talking about EVs, of course we can't miss Tesla. But what is quite interesting is the Li Auto showroom right opposite to it. Just not shy of competition, right? And then here we have 6 EV brands in a row, starting from the Mustang Mach-E. Unfortunately, not selling that well in the Chinese market. I have to admit that even I was not aware of this brand Neutron before this video. And last week there were news that they might not be able to deliver vehicles to the market in the end. Next up is the Xpeng brand, which has also launched their vehicles in some European markets this year. HiFi is another very expensive EV brand that started to deliver vehicles in 2021. Zeekr is another EV brand from the Geely Group, with a high-tech feel targeting Generation Zero. And then we have Lantu, an EV brand launched by Dongfeng Motors, which also started delivering in 2021. Next, we have the NIO brand, which has a unique battery swapping system, and also recently launched their subscription service in some European markets. Besides it is the Huawei store, not only selling the electronic devices like phones and tablets, but also displaying the brand new Aito vehicle in the showroom, which they have collaborated with Ceres. Last up, Avita is another Chinese EV brand that's just started delivering within this year. Avita is truly unique as it is a joint venture between Chang'an, a state-owned OEM, Huawei, the well-known telecommunication company, and CATL, the largest EV battery producer on planet. In the future, we can also do a dedicated video about Chinese EV brands. Besides EVs, another trend that I found unique is the vending machines selling blind boxes. The most famous brand is probably Mart, which has been listed on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange since 2020. How to simply explain their business model in football terms. So they will own the IP of, let's say, the Argentina football team, and then issue each player's figures in blind boxes. And then people will buy them in hope of getting Messi in their box. But of course, in reality, only a very small proportion of people will get Messi. Of course, instead of football players, cartoon figures are much more popular for kids. And Disneyland is also in this market with many well-known IPs. So the gambling aspect is very similar to sports cards, but just much more attractive to young kids. Interestingly enough, it became so popular amongst kids, the Shanghai government issued a regulation this year that any blind box cannot be more than 200 RMB each and cannot be sold to kids under 8 years old to protect them. I think one of the most interesting things in this mall is that there's so many playgrounds and shops for kids, and there's so many institutions especially for kids. Let's have a look. The third floor here just seems to be a complete kingdom for kids. You can skate or drive on this floor. You can buy clothes, shoes, equipment, toys, etc. here. You can play games of all sorts here with or without parents or grandparents accompanying, of course. You can also learn music, dancing, or other sorts of art in one of these specialized institutions. Apparently, mathematics and English courses for kids below 12 years old has lost the market since the new regulation in China in order to relieve some pressure from kids. Nowadays, robotics and programming seem to be getting more and more popular. And as you can see here, kids as young as 5 years old start following a particular curriculum to start developing their interest in this subject. Now, we have seen the service provided to kids. Are there any other services for adults to enjoy? Of course, from beauty salons, spas, hair salons to dance studios, from gyms to VR games. There is just so much activities you can do within this shopping mall. And it doesn't end there. Even if you're just feeling lazy and don't want to move at all, you can also read in the bookshops, cafe, or watch a movie in the cinema. If you are hungry, then let's have a look at the food and beverage options. So here we are in front of the food court, and follow me, I'll show you many different restaurants and bakeries. So we are now in the food court on B1 floor, which is where you can find many food options on the go or for 1 to 2 people as a quick meal. As you can see here, there are noodle shops, small hot pots, sushi, bakeries, and all sorts of sweets, as well as fast food options, including the well-known international ones like McDonald's or Pizza Hut. Here and on the ground floor, you can also find coffee and tea shops like Starbucks or Luckin Coffee. Typically, you won't be spending more than $10 a meal in this area. However, when we move to the upper floors, which is mainly the 4th floor in this shopping mall, we can find much more restaurants for dining that is more comfortable, while of course also more expensive. Here, people can find all sorts of dining options ranging from hot pot, barbecue, roasted duck, to original cuisine like Yunnan cuisine, Chaoshan cuisine, and so on. In the future, we can also do a specific video to introduce the 8 major Chinese cuisine. If you are interested in this topic, please let us know in the comment section below. Of course, there are also foreign restaurants in this shopping mall, ranging from Italian to French cuisine, which shows Shanghai as one of the most international cities in China. So if I summarize my experience in this shopping mall, I would say the products sold are not much different than in Europe, just with more EVs. But there are much more food options and a wide variety of services provided to make your daily life easier. And there is also also a clear targeting on kids by many merchants. So after our video today showing you how Chinese shopping malls are within megacities, would you spend a day during the weekend within one of these complexes? And how are shopping malls in your home country? Let us know in the comment section below. Stay tuned and hope you enjoy Glopen.